Tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So good morning, everyone. Today we are studying we have the question and answer session. So we'll start with the question number 22. I think we finished the question number 21. If some verbs are to be inserted in, is this the correct way? Avidya paccaya sankhara sambhavanti, sankhara paccaya vijnana sambhavati, vijnana paccaya namarupam sambhavati, so forth. Yes, this is how it is, should be inserted. Avidya nirodha sankhara nirodho hoti, sankhara nirodha vijnana nirodho hoti. Yes, because even here we can say sankhara honti, right? Avidya paccaya sankhara honti, sankhara sambhavanti. It means they occur, they exist. So we can use these words. So hoti also, because of the eradication of avidya, the sankhara become eradicated. Because of the eradication of sankhara, vijnana becomes eradicated. Yeah, this kind of usage is correct, because here we cannot say avidya nirodha sankhara nirodho sambhavati. Sambhavati means something which happens. So the word sambhavati can explain it happens, it remains without getting destructed. So all these meanings are possible. So this is a proper way of inserting the verbs. Yes, sambhavati and hoti accordingly. I hope it is clear. Any questions on this? Further questions? Right. So then from Jatila Sutta, Ekang Samayam Bhagava Gayayang Viharati Gayasise. Why is it the verb should be sandwiched between the two locative cases? Does it happen often in the text? Actually, it is nothing to nothing to think about the verb is sandwiched between the two locative cases. This is a usage of verb. There are words used as after the final verb. So in Pāli, the verb can be placed in anywhere. There is no burden for that. So here, normally in normal sentence, we use the verb at the end of the sentence. But here what has happened is there are some words, nouns, which have been used after the verb. So this can happen in many ways. Like for example, tassa putto ahosi yo manapo, right? So the ahosi is the verb. There he had a son who was dear and good looking or pleasant. So here in this case, ahosi is sandwiched between nominative case nouns. So therefore there is nothing to worry about the case ending which follows the verb. This is a usage in Pali that the verb is not necessary to be at the end of the sentence. There can be some nouns which comes after the final verb, right? So that is how I understand it. The locative cases which precede and proceeds the verb, there is nothing to worry about the case endings. That what we have to keep in mind is there can be some nouns coming after the verb. Sometimes the verb sentence can start with the verb. For example, addasa o bhagava. Te durato agachanti. So the blessed one saw them coming from far away, right? He saw them coming from far away before they came close. So here the verb comes at the beginning of the sentence. So here it comes we can call it in the middle part of a sentence. Sometimes we can say it comes at the end of a sentence. For example, Buddho Dhammang Deseti. So all are possible. All these usages are possible in Pāli. It can come in the beginning, can come at the end, and it can come in the middle place, anywhere in the sentence. Is there any questions on that? Further questions? Sorry. So then we go to the question number 24. How to differentiate the meaning and usage of these three words? Kosiya, Sakka, Maggava, whereas they refer to the same person, right? So yeah, these three refer to the same person. They are the names for the Sakka. So if you want for detailed explanations, I'm not familiar. I don't know the word formations of these words. If you need the word formations, you can go to the Nigandu, Pāli Nigandu. Pāli Nigandu is a sort of a lexicon of the Pāli words, like a dictionary, and it has a sub-commentary. It explains all these words. So Sakka's names were given, like Buddha's names were given, Buddho, Dasabalo, Nato, Sabbanyo, Deepaduttamo, so likewise, and Sakka's name were also given. So you can find the word formations of these names. They were all used to refer to the Sakka, where they refer to the same person. Yes, they refers to the normally to the same person. They can be used for other people, but in the literature they were used for the Sakka. For example, the word Sakka can also refers to a person of the Sakyan clan. It can be also used, right? So it depends on the word can be used in Pali. The same word can be given various meanings based on the different definitions. But as that all these three words were used for the Sakka, giving him various names. And what kind of things can deities do with merits, as in the Ammahakam Punyena Karani, Ammhakampi Punyena Karaniya. I think it's like everyone needs the merits. One reason is to have luxuries in that very life, and also to have a next rebirth, proper rebirth. In one sutta, it is the Balapandita Sutta, Buddha mentioned that the most of the beings who die or pass away from the Deva world, they most of the times they are born in the woeful realms. The same with the humans. Most of the humans who die, according to our teachings, are born in woeful realms. So in the same way, most of the deities who die are also born in the woeful realm. You can find this in the Bala Pandita Sutta of the Majjhima Nikaya. So therefore, even the deities are in need, or the deities who know this phenomenon would surely prefer the merit. So that's what the Sakka says, Punyena atthoti punyena payojana. So we have lots of benefits out of merits. One reason can be if their luxuries can be increased in that very life, but that normally, for example, in our tradition, it is mentioned if someone wants to get results in the very same life, giving a dana, there should be four factors should be completed. We have to give a dana with a righteously obtained thing, with wisdom, somanasa and wisdom, and somanasa with happy mind, to a person who has eradicated the defilements. It's like arahant, and arahant who has emerged from the nirodha samapatti, the cessation of attainment of cessation, nirodha samapatti. So if someone gives dana with saddha, believing the karma and result, it means with wisdom, right? Here, believing the karma and results is explained as the kammasakata jnana. We also can refer it as saddha, because in that case, saddha and panya are referred in a similar manner. Then giving with something that has righteously obtained properly, with a somanassa mind, like with happy mind. These are the two factors, right? So all should be included. To my, I'm unable to distinguish it which are the exact factors, but all these should be there to my understanding. Then a person who has eradicated the defilements, arahant, and who has emerged from the nirodha samapatti. If someone offers dana with all these four factors, it is mentioned that he would get results, ditta dhamma vedaniya results, in that very life. In some cases, within the 7 days, they have got the results. Some cases, in that very same day, they have got the results. So these are the, normally, akusala kammas can give results quickly. Kusala kammas take time to give results. So Venerable Nagasena explained this in Milinda Panya. He mentioned the akusala has the nature of giving results, immediately giving results. Immediately means giving results quicker than that of kusala kamma. So the example he gave was, understand the phenomenon. Is a simile that what he has given. So we have to understand the simile, like someone do merits good deeds for years, but it takes some time for him to be recognized by the society and to gain the praise. Doing good things doesn't earn praise quickly. It takes time, because people always watch whether he's doing with a good intention or with certain agendas. Then, but a person who has maintained a good status in the society can lose it with a one single action. To do a very bad one action, you lose the entire reputation overnight. It can happen. So the simile was given, like akusala is, so the results of kusala, the praise is not a result of kusala, and the dispraise we get due to doing unwholesome deed is not a result of akusala. This was just a simile given to show that akusala affects quickly than the kusala. So according to that, in a similar way, akusalas tend to give results quicker than that of kusala. So if someone wants to do a kusala that would surely affect in this very life, would give results in this very life. So those are the four factors. So those kusalas would, it is said that they would give results immediately in this very life. Some would give conspicuous, like observable results, like what happened to some beggars who became rich men overnight, or it may give certain results in this very life. But it has to have that four factors. But it doesn't mean that for a kusala to give results in this very life, all those four factors has to be completed. Any karma can give results in this very life. There's a possibility. But the akusalas now immediately giving results, immediately not maybe in this life or maybe in the next life, akusalas giving results is more quicker than the kusalas according to the Milinda Panya. So when the deities say they are in need of merits, we can say by giving such wonderful like danas to arahants like Mahakassapa and so forth, maybe they will get benefits in that very life. That is also useful for them, because Sakka did merits to become to come into that position when there was no Buddha in the world. So one time he came to the, I think, Arahant or to Buddha and mentioned, some of the new deities who are born, who are my subject, are more glorious than I am. So sometimes I feel ashamed to be with them, because even though I am the king of the divine world, they have done merits towards Arahants, towards the Buddha. So their merits were so powerful than what I have done, even though I got into the position of the Sakka. So their glory sometimes overshadows me. So therefore I feel a bit shamed to be with them. So if Sakka could do such merits by offering to Buddha, Dhamma, and Buddha and Arahants, his merits, his glory would also increase, because the four factors can be completed, and those merits are very powerful ones. So maybe that is what the Sakka was referring. One reason that he wants to intensify his glory, enhance his glory. At the same time, all the deities who know the phenomenon of the world not all the deities, the ones who know the phenomenon that most of the deities end up in the woeful realms in the next life, would try to accumulate merits as much as possible, coming to listen to Dhamma and trying to help the others. They would try to accumulate merits, because in the divine world you cannot give dana, because all the deities have their luxuries, have their food and so forth. There are no poor ones in the divine world. So it is not that the deities can offer to each other, and that custom is not found in the divine world. Even though some deities are more powerful, more glorious than others, that giving to another deity, that custom is not a tradition, not the culture in the divine realms. So they cannot do dana. What they can do is mainly, and also it's they may observe sila, but the divine world is always with lots of good people. So there is no such corrupted society like the humans, like we have. Then it's very difficult for them to do meditation, because in the divine realm the pleasures are very high, and they are always attracted for sensual pleasures. And the best merits that they can do is listening to Dhamma. And some deities do preach the Dhamma, the well-educated or noble deities, or the ones who have lots of wisdom, having done merits in the past and also have listened to Dhamma. They may teach others. So most of the time deities do the listening to Dhamma. They don't have the opportunity to do much dana, sila, and bhavana. Sila, you can say they may observe the sila and easily protect it. So giving dana is not easy for them. That's why they mention he needs merit. So into conclusion, what I mentioned, sometimes they may need merits to intensify their glory in that very life, and also they need merits to be born in a blissful state after their death. That is done by the deities who are aware of the phenomenon that most of the deities end up in the woeful realms. Yeah, if you have any questions on this.
Bhante?
Yes, Brother Robin.
I have several questions about what you have just said, Bhante. The first one is about so you mentioned that the akusala is quicker in giving result, Bhante. So
Yes.
is there any like technical explanation about why is that happening? Like maybe is it the power is more strong like that or something like that, Bhante?
No, it's just what Milinda Panya Nagasena wants to mention is that is the phenomenon, that is the nature. That is the nature. It's not nothing redirected to the power or anything, because normally kusala is more powerful. In when we compare the kusala and akusala, kusala is more powerful than akusala naturally, because akusalas have either one root or two roots. Either we have moha alone, or loba and moha, and dosa and moha. But when we compare the kusala, we have two or three roots. Always kusala is either with aloba dosa or aloba dosa moha. So that's why we say a person may have, there is no beginning on the sansara. So akusalas have been prevailing there all the time. So one has accumulated lots of akusala powers throughout the sansara. But all these powers, the force of akusala can be completely eradicated by practicing paramita, practicing perfections, like practicing for liberation in a certain, a specific amount of period. It's like a bodhisattva has been wandering in the sansara for a countless amount of time, and then he just practiced for 4 asankheyas and 100,000 years, and he was able to cut off all the defilements and attain the Buddhahood. So the period he accumulated, the merits, the paramita, is very slow, very shorter compared to the sansara. So the akusala, even though akusala is again and again intensified because of doing repeating the same thing, they can be eradicated by the power of the wholesome acts that were done in a certain period of time. So therefore, normally we say kusala is more powerful than akusala. It's much powerful than akusala. So it is not the reason for what the Milinda Panya says that akusala gives results quicker than kusala. According to him, that I read this long time before, according to him, it is the nature of the world. It is the nature of the world that akusalas would give results quicker than kusala. That's what the King Milinda asked the question. Why these things? Some question he asked. Why don't we see benefits or something like that? He asked the question. So in that, as an answer, he gave, Veredama Nagasena gave this answer. According to him, it is the nature of the akusala to give results quicker.
Okay, Bhante. So we can summarize that the akusala is weaker, but it is quick in producing result, and then kusala is strong, but it takes some time to produce result,
Yes,
Bhante.
yes. But it is
Okay.
not we should not come into a conclusion now. Someone do kusala and akusala, what would give results quicker? It's not in that manner. What he wanted to mention, I think, personally think, is in comparison with the akusalas have a tendency to give results quicker, like earlier than the kusala. But it is not proper to compare. Now, for example, someone kills a mosquito and gives a dana. What would give results quickly? It can. Any of them could have given results based on various conditions. But this is like as a group, akusalas tend to give results quicker than the kusala. I think that's what Milinda Panya was referring to.
Okay, Bhante. And then Bhante, the next question is like before you mentioned about like most of the people like when they die they go into the woeful realms, Bhante, and we have read a lot about this, Bhante. I have curiosity because like sometimes when I heard the story or read the story of the meditator in Pāḷi, like when they see their previous life, for example, they're reborn as animal, and then animal again, and then human being, and then maybe another thing, Bhante. But in Sutta like Samyutta Nikaya, there is like simile of how hard it is to attain the state of rebirth in human world or good world, Bhante, like throwing a ring to the turtle in the ocean like that, Bhante. But seeing the experience of those meditator, like it seems it's quite different, Bhante. So is it like in general, like most people are when they die they go to Wolverine, but some of them there are some exception, Bhante.
Yes, there are. I would focus on two aspects of your question. One is now some yogis claiming that they are seeing the past lives, and first thing is such experiences. I'm not condemning on that. It's a little bit difficult to take them as references, right? It is one reason. Whether they have experienced accurately the past lives or not, that's something that we have to investigate further. So, but I'm not denying that there's a possibility that there are yogis who have seen the past lives. But whether we take them accurately or not is something else. So it is quite. I would, as a scholar, I would reluctant to take such experiences as references to explain the Dhamma, because we have to find out whether whether his experience was clear or whether he's accurate or not. That is something else. So then we come into the story of Buddha's mentioning a person who has entered into the woeful realms. It's very hard for him to come out of it and be born as a human being. So the simile seems to be like an extreme simile. Like it seems like it is quite impossible for someone to come into the human state after going into the animal realm. So that was, I think that was referred as because someone goes into the animal realm, there is no opportunity for him to do merits, and all the akusalas that were accumulated in the past starts to get activated, and he would remain in the woeful realms for a long time. But as you said, sometime in some cases, someone who has done abundant merits, like who has practiced the paramis and accumulated lots of force of merits, can sometimes go into the woeful realm, and he may wander in the animal realm for a while, and suddenly, because of the past merits coming forth, there is a possibility that he may be born as a human being. So both are possible. First, the statement was given in the Samyutta Nikaya, that is, we have to take it as a fundamental, that it is not very easy for a being who is born in the woeful realm to be born as born in the Sugati realm. And that is obvious. Like we can see the number of animals and number of petas mentioned in the literature. And also when we understand the nature of the Dhamma, it seems like it seems like a dead end. Like you can come out of it, but it would be very, very difficult, because like, for example, you think about the ants, the small beings, the ones who are in the seas, or they have, seems like it would take long time for them to be human beings. So, but also we find in the literature that Bodhisattva and certain disciples of the Bodhisattva has entered into the woeful realms and come out of it, some even very close to their attainments. So this is also possible. It is not, we cannot deny it. We cannot deny it. There is a possibility that a person would go into the woeful realm, one day in the woeful realm for a few lives, and suddenly come out of it because they abandon past merits. Not because in rare cases, they may do a good merit in the woeful realm, like especially in the animal realm, it is possible. Peta realm and some petas may do good merits, but most of the petas cannot. And in hell, there's no opportunity of doing a good merit, and especially, and also in the Asura realm, opportunity is very less, even lesser than petas, as far as I understand, because Asuras are lower beings. It's like the state of Asura is one of the lower kind of petas, Kala Kanjika Asuras. So therefore, normally a person comes out of, very rarely animal can do a merit. Most of the beings who are entered in the woeful realm comes out of it because of the past merits. So therefore, ones who have done a lot of past merits, there's a possibility that after wandering in the woeful realms for few lives, unless they have not done very strong akusalas, like animals killing their parents, or animals harming a very noble person, like forth, unless he has done such strong akusala karmas, there is a possibility that he may come out of the woeful realm. Possibility is there. So yeah, so that's how I understand. But it doesn't deny the basic fundamental that it is very difficult to come out. Dhamma point of view, it is obvious. A person who goes into the woeful realms, it's very hard for him to come out. Exceptional cases, the main reason is one has done lots of merits in the past lives.
Okay, Bhante. Thank you very much, Bhante. It's very clear, Bhante. And last questions, Bhante, about the Saka. It's related to Saka. I have this curiosity, Bhante, about the Tawatingsa realm, Bhante. So Tawatingsa realm is like consists of like 33 friends who have done merits in the past together, like that, Bhante, the Dewa. Mm-hmm. But is this realms is always going to be 33%, Bhante? Because it seems very unlikely that it can be the exact number of 33 in each time, Bhante. So how about the case in the future? And also, where is the reference about sharing merit to deities, Bhante, can be found in our text, Bhante?
It's like if we go to the Tawatinsa explanation, Tawatinsa word, according to our literature, it starts from Tettinsa, like it is constructed from the Tettinsa word. According to mention in the Paramattha Dipani, it is a world where 33 people govern the world. 33 people governs that world. So there are, for example, if you take their parliament, or where they rule, there are 33 seats reserved for their rulers. Like, for example, in Sri Lanka, we have 225 MPs in the parliament. So anyone who get elected with the election comes into these 225 seats. So this is fixed one. In any country, we have fixed number of seats. So likewise, in the Tawatinsa realm, the number is 33, it's fixed. So there are now one out of these 33 dies, and then one has the opportunity to be born there. Sometimes that seat may be empty for some time, as long as someone who has the merits are born as a minister. So these are the ministers. 33, including the Sakka is 33. So 32. Some are his wives. So ministers mean the ruling party has 33. So someone dies and someone can be born. So there are two occasions mentioned in the literature, mentioned in the literature, where all the 33 were born together. So these are exceptional cases. In some cases, the Sakka dies and the ministers remain. After some time, the seat is empty and someone is born as a Sakka. There can be eras that the Sakka's seat can be empty. The seats of the MPs, like ministers, can be empty. So two occasions, all the 33 were born together. That was one Jataka. The Bodhisattva did marriage together with a group of 33 and were born as the Sakka and his retinue. All the retinue were born together. And then the next incident is this present Sakka that we have. He was also born together with all the 33 who has done marriage. So that's why he was called Maggava. Maggava means his name in the previous life was Maggamanavaka, M-A-G-H-A, Maggamanavaka. So that's why he was given the name Maggava as the Sakka. So he and his retinue, the fellow companions, were born in the Tavatinsa realm together because of the marriage that they have done. Out of the 33, one wife, he had 4 wives. One wife was a bit reluctant in doing marriage. So she was born in the realm of Asuras. Asura means not the woeful realm Asuras, the Asuras of the divine realm, who were banished from the Tavatinsa realm. So then that was called, her name was Suja. That Suja was what is mentioned in the sutta. So Sakka went and took her back. So that's why she was called Suja Asura Kanya. Suja Asura Kanya was the wife of the Sakka. He brought her from the Asura realm. So this is how the 33 was mentioned. Now, if you take the Yama means the world Yama, the next Deva world. Yama is the name of the ruling party, ruling family of that world. Tavatinsa is ruled by a group of a king and a minister. The Yama is ruled by a family. Family means one divine family. That divine family is called Yama family. That's why the divine realm was given the name Yama. So likewise, there are different ruling systems in these divine realms. So Tavatinsa has a 33 panel, and it is not necessarily that all are born together. There are 2 occasions mentioned in the literature. In other occasions, the Sakka was born alone and others can be born alone according to their merits. And then I think you asked another question. I lost it. Sorry for that.
About the reference about sharing merits to deities.
Okay, I'll come to that. Is there any questions? Because it's a completely different topic. So any questions on this? As far as
on the Tavatinsa, Bhante? No, Bhante. It's really clear, Bhante.
Hi, Bhante. Yeah, this is not exactly related to the Tavatinsa, but it's also one of the deity worlds. So about the Paranimita Vasavati. So if I remember correctly, then is that her? Yeah, the lady Visakha. Was that correct? That she was born as the like the queen of the Mara in that.
No, actually, yeah, I do correctly. Lady Visakha was born in Nimmanarati. That is how it's mentioned. Nimmanarati, the 5th Deva in the world.
And Nimmanarati is not
not the Paranimita. Nimmanarati. Then, as the Paranimita Vasavati, as you asked, the topic was broad. Paranimita Vasavati, the world it's not ruled by Mara actually. You can find this in the Majjhima Nikaya commentary. You can have the reference, Majjhima Nikaya commentary, the first sutta that is called Mula Pariyaya Sutta. Mula Pariyaya Sutta explains about Devas, Maras, Pataviya, Potejo. So in the explanation of Mara, you can find the explanation what I'm giving. According to that, Paranimita Vasavati is ruled by a king called Vasavati Divya Raja. Vasavatti, the king Vasavatti, the divine king, rules the Paranimita Vasavatti. According to the commentary, the Mara is like a ruler of a part of the Vasavatti, Mara Paranimita Vasavatti. He's like for example, if I say in Sri Lanka, there was a LTTE ruler who was controlling the northern part of the country while the government was on the southern part. So officially all land belonged to the government, but we were unable to enter those areas as long as the LTTE ruler was controlling the area. So likewise, the Paranimita Vasavatti is the main king is the Paranimita Dibbaraja. The Mara is ruling in a certain area. So in one English book about the 31 plains, he has mentioned like the Robin Hood, why the sheriff was controlling or the king was controlling the England. Robin Hood was having his own kingdom. So Mara Divyaputta is such a person, but in terms of merit and in terms of power, he is powerful than any other devotee. But because of the Paranimita Dibbaraja also has his own merits, Mara cannot overcome him and take over his kingdom. The Paranimita Dibbaraja also cannot take over the Mara's kingdom. So, but they are located in the same world. And the people who are around the Mara, we call him the Mara Parisa, and they will not attain Nibbana during those lives. And anyone who is born in that position as the Mara, is a position in the Mara, is a position in that realm as the Mara seed, normally they get deluded by the luxuries and the power, and he gets a lot of conceit. Like what happened to Mahamoggalana, even though he had accumulated lots of merit in the samsara, when he was born as the Mara, while the Kakusanda Buddha was alive, he went against him and he also tried to kill the two chief disciples, and he ended up in the Avicii. So that is like a position saved, and if someone is born there, normally, according to literature, they become completely deluded by the conceit. So someone can be born in the Paranimita. There are noble beings in the Paranimita world. Those are the ones who are in the under the control of the Paranimita Dibbaraja. That is, I can call it the good part of the Paranimita world. And the Mara's part is where the luxuries, the pleasures are so high, but they are not supportive for the Buddhist teachings, because Buddha teaches them. Buddha encourages the monks to go beyond his range, like go to the Brahma realm and also go to attain the Nibbana, which goes beyond his capacities. And this Mara is considered in our literature as the most powerful being in the entire karma realm. And he also has an influence, not the control. He also can influence the first two Brahma realms, Brahma Parisajja and Brahma Purohita, because you can find in a certain sutta, I think the Baka Brahma Sutta, as far as I remember, while the Buddha was preaching Dhamma to the Brahma, certain Brahmas used to speak out, certain like strangely. Then the Buddha recognized the Mara has come into their bodies and started to control their minds. So, but it is mentioned, the commentary says the Mara cannot influence the Mahabrahmas, but it can influence Brahma Parisajja and Brahma Purohita. So his power is very powerful to the karma realm and even to the lowest two Brahma realms. Conclude, what I want to emphasize was he is a partial ruler of the Paranimita Vasavatti, where the main ruler is the Paranimita Dibbaraja.
Okay, thank you so much, Bhante.
Yes.
I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
I know sometimes now every time we arise the jhana, but sometimes the jhana is influenced by the past karma, also influenced by the anusaya.
Yes.
So my means is what is the basis from this?
Yeah, it can. Yeah, it's a completely new question. I'll give a short answer for that. Also, it's karma can influence the jhana. We can find this in some references, like Bodhisattva. Buddha mentioned while he was practicing as a bodhisattva, he used to practice for 6 years the wrong path, right? Self-mortification, right? And he mentioned in the Udāna Pāļi, the reason was because he insulted the Kassapa Buddha. So because of that karma, he used to find the wrong path. It means the karma has influenced our javana, right? Javana is not a vipaka. The javana is influenced by karma, so the javana cannot come into with high capacity. A bodhisattva could have found the correct path very easily, because very easily means because of his capacity. But that capacity of finding the correct path was obstructed by the karma. Same thing happened to Chullapantaka, who couldn't memorize Gatha for 4 months. And then regarding the Anusaya, it is obvious, like Anusaya, because of only because Anusaya or affects our mind, that is why our mind, according to the Abhidhamma literature, why Manodvara Avajjana Chitta makes the Ayoniso Manasikara, one reason is Anusaya. And then reason is Anusaya. Then also we have to understand why our chittas become kammas, kusala or akusala. They have the ability to give results, because as long as our Anusaya is present. So Anusaya do affect our mind stream. That is why our javana become kamma. If Anusaya is not there, our javana become kirya, right? So the influence of Anusaya is very obvious in many places.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
So, yes.
So, Bhante, may I ask a question about the Tawadinsa? Come back to the Tawadinsa.
Yeah, I'll come to the sharing merit question. Okay, yes, Sally, please.
Okay. So, for the Tawadinsa beings, for example, now the 33 seats are full, but for those beings who have the parami who have the wholesome deeds to reborn in the Tawadinsa, so they will be reborn in the king, the Saga's wife, Saga's sons or daughters. But maybe he had the wish, so I want to be the minister in the Tawadinsa or something. But now the seats are full, so how they can do that?
Yeah, this leads to our question. I think last week's question about we had how the rebirth is made, right? So now, when someone has the capacity, the merit to become a minister, but the ministry post is already full, right? So where he'll be born. So that time, my idea is he will be born in a random place in the Tawatinsa realm. He will not have the opportunity to be a minister because the ministerial post is already full. Someone has doing merits to become the Sakka. If the Sakka is still alive, you cannot be a Sakka in the next life. So in that case, he will be born in another place of the Tawatinsa realm or in a divine realm. So that's why we discussed this matter in the last week. Now we have a karma to take us to the Tawatinsa realm. That is the basic level of karma. Then as a secondary additional wishes, additional traits, qualities, in the Tawatinsa realm, someone wants to be the son of the Sakka, the wife of the Sakka, or a minister of the Sakka. So these are secondary traits. So as long as the main trait is found, he will be born in the Tawatinsa realm, but the secondary traits, secondary characteristics of the karma may or may not be completed. If the seat is open, he will be born there. If the seat is not open, he may not be born as a minister. He will be born as some divine being. So that's what the same thing we discuss about the human realm. Someone has the capacity of the karma to be born as a human being, but in a good rich family of the king's family. So in that case, according to Theravadians, he should be born in the king's family, but in the human realm. So basic characteristics of a karma is to born as a human being. Secondary quality is to in the human being in the family of for example, the Chinese king. For example, if I take, so if the Chinese king's queen is not ready to receive a child, there is no opportunity for that. For example, if the mother's womb was taken out, or there is a problem in getting conceived, so in that case, he has no opportunity to born in the Chinese king's family. So, but he will be born in the human realm because the basic characteristic of human realm is still found. So he'll be born in the human realm, maybe in China or somewhere else, because that's why I mentioned the secondary qualities of the karma may or may not be completed.
So for example, if now he is reborn in the Tavadinza, but the next day, this the one seat is empty.
Sorry, just give me 1 minute. There's an emergency call from my father. Sorry. Teruwan සරණයි තාත්තා. අම්මේ මම පන්තියේ ඉන්නේ. ඔකේ අනික්මට. ඔව්. වඩිනවා. එපා අම්මේ. ඒක කරදරයි ඕක. ඔව් කරදරයි. මේ හරි මං කියන්න. හරි. මං එවන්න මම පන්තියේ ගින්නේ මේ පොඩ්ඩක් මේක මම මේ පන්ති වල කෝල් එකක් ගන්න. එවන්න මම දැන් 9 මාට ඉවරයි පන්ති. 9 මාට ඉවරයි මං ගන්න කෝල්. Hello.
Yes, Bhante.
Sorry. My parents wanted to talk to me. It's okay. So yes, can you repeat the question? I couldn't hear it. Sorry.
Okay. For example, now he's reborn in the Tavadinza, but this is already full. So, but he's still there, maybe in some family. But the thing is, for example, just a few days, maybe the one seat is empty, and there's no other beings to take that seat. So it is possible for the karma to rise in him, and he will be reborn in that seat again, or this karma will be like just a hosi karma or something like that.
I think that is. I don't think that will be possible. Like that karma comes and kills him and brings him to the seat. I think when it's like his same. What I was thinking, his karma that could have made him a minister. That same karma would make him another normal being in the Tavatinsa realm. So now it has got the opportunity to give results. So now he will continue as a normal being, right? So now if we take this example in the human realm, this kind of a thing is possible. Like he had the merits to become the child of a king, like a prince or princess, or to get the kingship. And there was no opportunity for to be born in the king's family. So he was born as a clansman, normal, like a minister's son or someone. So that same karma which would have made him a king didn't have the opportunity to give rebirth in the king's family. So he was born as an ordinary clansman. So this karma is now continuing. It gave it life, and he's continuing to live like that. As you said, now if there is opportunity of the vacancy of the king's seat, there is a possibility, I would say, there is a possibility that somehow he can be the king because of some other reason. So because his karma originally had the capacity to make him a king. So like, for example, I'm not taking it as a concluding evidences. Normally in our horoscopes, like the astrology, we normally say this person also has a merit to rule the country, but he's a normal ordinary person. So he had this capacity. Sometimes, according to the astrology, if the opportunities were given, there is a possibility that he may come into that seat. So likewise, I'm not taking it as just an example I was taking. Similarly, a person have the capacity to become a king, but didn't have the opportunity to born in the king's family. So he was born as an ordinary human being. If the opportunity the vacancies were there is a possibility that he may be the king. So in that way, I would rather say a normal being who was born in the Tavatinsa realm, if the seat was empty after he was born, maybe he will be ascended to the seat because of some reason. But I personally, I'm not able to say possible or not. Personally, my idea is such things do not happen in the divine realm. Normally, that in the divine realm, a person is considered allocated to that position because of his birth. But then another counter argument, now one has to be born as a minister from the beginning. So that's how normally we feel. But then a counter argument, what I'm saying against what I said, there is another evidence for that, because the Suja Asura Kanya was born in the Asuras, near the Asuras. So the seat was vacant. So what the Sakka did was he went and brought this lady and placed her in the position. So even it shows that even after someone is born, it's possible for him, he come to ascend to that throne, not after dying and reborn, because she's already born there. He may come and bring him to the throne. So it is possible. So in that case, it seems like maybe for a normal deity who had that merit, it is possible for him to come into that seat. But normally, I personally feel now, then someone can ask the question, a Sakka dies, can a normal Tavatinsa being be a Sakka, come into that place? I don't think that is possible. Normally, a Sakka is born as a Sakka. Sakka has to be born as a Sakka, not like a human king. Human king is not born as a king, he is made a king. But a Sakka is born as a Sakka. Brahma is born as a Sakka, Brahma. So I think most of the ministers are born in that same place. They are not coming into the throne afterwards.
Okay, thank you, Bhante.
Yeah, sorry, just give me one moment. There was another. Oh. Mama. Bisi hataro, bisi tunara ini. Oh, dan panti again mango. Hello? Yeah.
Yes, Bhante.
Yeah.
So for example, if they want to become the ministers or something, they have to make a determination, like make a wish. For example, every time if we do the dana, so we want to be the ministers in somewhere, it should be like that.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah, not necessarily. Sometimes if the karma is so strong, if the karma was done into such a great level, he may be born as a minister automatically. Any questions on this?
Bhante, like the related. So for example, for Mara Bhante, is it like the reborn that only happened like by chance, Bhante? Because I mean that there should be no person that determined to want to be Mara, right, Bhante?
No. Some would want to be a Mara, because this is like, we consider Mara as harmful as Buddhists. So knowing the Mara's luxuries, someone would have the desire to be a Mara, because Mara is harmful. We see him as a harmful being because he is against the Buddha's teachings. But when a Buddha is not present, I don't think the position of Mara is that much dangerous.
Oh, okay, Bhante. So it's possible that someone aspired to become the Mara.
Sure. There are ones who are inspired to be Mara.
Okay, Bhante.
In the luxuries, because he's the most one who experienced the highest divine or sensual pleasures in the Kama realm.
Okay, Bhante. Yes, that makes sense.
That is a story in the mention in the some other Buddhist sects, like about the Mara's change. Like change means his attitudes were changed. This is mentioned in the Vajra Buddhi Tika in our tradition, but most of the learned sayadaws do not accept this idea. Most of the means even Ashin Janakabivansa, as far as I know, he also didn't prefer it, because there was a incident like during the King Asoka's time, he wanted to offer a light offering, the lamp offering to the Buddha. So then he started to prepare for it. And once one told, some arahants told that there is a possibility that this is such a great merit and maybe the Mara could interrupt this. So there is one special arahant called Upagutta, who could prevent this Mara from doing this. So they invited him. They say he was living in a certain island. So after invited, he came back. He came to the India, and this is how the story goes. Then while it was the lamps were offered, Mara used to pour a certain kind of a rain, disturbing rain. So then the Upagutta, he lifted the mountain and covered it like an umbrella. And then what he did was he made the Mara to prevent while the ceremony was going on. I think there was a huge offering of lambs and some other great ceremony. So then was going on by the patronage of the King Asoka. So what the Upagutta did was, then he, after keeping the place in the mountain, he bound the Mara into this mountain by some of his powers. Then Mara, the only thing Mara had to do was to circle around the mountain. He had no way to escape. Till the Upagutta comes and break the bondage, he has to be there. So while he was circling, going around this the mountain, he was his Yoniso Manasikara arose. He thought now that the Upagutta has given him a certain punishment. So he was suffering with that. Mara, the almighty of the Kama realm, was bound like a dog, like an animal, and he couldn't go beyond the mountain as long as the Upagutta released him. Then Mara was contemplating, I have brought lots of troubles to the Buddha, the Gautama Buddha, while he was alive throughout the 44 years. But not of the any time, never the Buddha did such a harm to me. He just preached Dhamma, he just chased me away, but he never did such a physical harm to me like Upagutta did. This Upagutta is an Arahant. Buddha was such a person. Then he started to contemplate on the great compassion of a Buddha. Even being a Mara, when I was disturbing him and his disciples, he didn't take any action to prevent me. So then he started to feel the greatness of the compassion of the Buddha. And then he started to think, it is the Buddhahood is so great than Arahanthood, because see what this Arahant has done to me. So then while he was circling the mountain, he thought, his mind started to like the Buddhahood, and he started to aspire that may one day I will be a Buddha one day. So then according to that story, Mara started to aspired to become a Bodhisattva, and he is not harming the Buddhists anymore. So that is how the story goes. He had a certain aspiration to become a Bodhisattva. There is such a story mentioned in the literature, but some learned shadows do not accept this idea. They say this has come from a different tradition. So I want to give you some information that this is mentioned in the Vajrabuddhi Tika about the Upagutta and the Mara's incident. If you study the Kachayana, the ones who have studied the Kachayana, I think you remember example given, Upaguttena Maro Baddu. This is the example. You can find this in the Kachayana. This is an example given for a certain grammatical rule. Upaguttena Maro Baddu. The Mara was bound by Upagutta, by the Arahant Upagutta. This is the story behind this example. Okay, so I'll go to if any questions on this?
Yes, Bhante, I have a question, Bhante.
Yeah.
Besides the distinguished difference between the Pranimita Vasavati and Nimanarati, that Mara reside in the previous plane. What are the difference between these two planes?
So the question was, what are the differences between these two, Paranimita Vasavati and Nimanarati, right?
Yes,
for your further reference, you can go into Itivuttaka Pāļi. before explain, I'll give you the reference on this. It was called Dhatu Sutta, I remember, right? No. Bahupara, Udāna. Okay, I still. Yeah. Kamupapatti Sutta, right? You can refer this. Kamupapatti Sutta in Ituttaka Pāḷi.
Thank you.
Actually, the explanation is found in the commentary. So, according to Sutta, Buddha mentions Tisso ima bhikkave kamupattiyo katama tisso pachupattita kama nimmana ratino paranimita vasavatti. So, there are three types of kamas. Kama patilabha, kama patisevana. There are three types of enjoyment of sensual pleasures, right? So, pachupattita kama is one. Then we have nimmana ratino. Then paranimita vasavatti. So this is what the commentary says. Pachupattita kama means nibaddha kama, nibaddha aramana, like in the human realm. This is applicable to certain animal realms also, and also to the lower 4 divine realms. So they are attached. Now, in human world, people have certain partners, like a man and a woman. So they enjoy sensual desires with the opposite sex with a specific person. Like someone marries someone, the husband and wife lives for the entire life normally, like for a long time. So in that way, for example, Panchasika Devaputta had a desire to Surya Vachasa, one of the deities, the female deities, and he loved her so much, and he made some songs to get her attraction, and even preached, sang in front of the Buddha. Even the animals also have their specific partners. So these are called Pachupattita Kama. Then Nimmana Ratino means Sayang Nimmite Nimmane Rati Etansi Nimmaradu. Right? So it was like, for example, Nimmana Rati Devas, whatever they like, they create, whatever appearance they like, they create it. And then they enjoy the sensual pleasures. Specifically, they are talking about the sex here. So they, whatever the appearance they like, they create it by themselves, and they enjoy the sensual desires. That is called Nimmana Ratino. For example, the example was given, there were some female deities who came to Venerable Anuruddha, right? And as far as I remember, she was one of his past life wives. So they came and showed their appearance. Whatever whatever the Anuruddha thought, they created their appearances. Whatever the appearance they liked to appear, they showed it. That is called Nimmana Rati. Paranimita Vasavatti mean like in that divine realm. Now, for example, a deity, a ruling, like a powerful deity is there. So the others who want to enjoy desire, sexual pleasures with them, knows his mind, his desires, and make the appearances fitting to the person's desire, the main deity's desire. So because in the Deva realm also we have the hierarchy, right? So the ruling Devas, the master Deva, the servant Devas, we have certain hierarchy in the Deva realm. So when a master likes certain appearance for the sexual act, the others would create that appearance and enjoy it. So that is what is called the Paranimita Vasavati. So the Nimmana Rati, whatever they like, they create it by their own desire, according to their desire. Paranimita Vasavati means the servants or the lower ones knows the desire of the higher deities, and they appear in front of them as they like. So so likewise, so therefore there is a difference between Nimmana Rati and Paranimita Vasavati. But on the other deities, other deities and other humans, they enjoy the sensual desires upon the ones who have in their own appearance. So this is the two differences given in the commentary of the Itivuttaka Pāļi. According to this, the entire Kama realm can be divided into three phases. From the Tirachana realm to Kama, human realm, and also the four divine realms. They have Pachupattita Kama. Nimmana Rati, they have they create their own desirous appearances, and Paranimita Vasavati, the others, the like lower deities, would consider your desires and make the appearance fitting to your desires. So that is the difference between these two. Is it clear, or is there any questions on this?
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so I think it's now already 9:30. So, so Brother Robin, can you write your question because it was something like a new question? You can write it on the Q&A session. I'll discuss on this next week. I think we only got 2-3 questions today. We have many counter questions coming, so we'll try to finish it just.
Okay, Bhante. Thank you, Bhante.
Shall we call it a day?
Yes, Bhante.
Okay. Yes, then thank you very much for joining. And
thank you very much, Bhante,
thank you so
for
much,
all the
Bhante.
explanations. Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.